like methanol producers are starting to care about the carbon intensity of the gas they're buying because they have to then disclose it to IMO. And I think with the lessons learned I've had around this as well, a lot of the carbon intensity estimates and stuff that have come out from upstream oil and gas, which is great that people like the fact that Darren Woods can get on a stage and talk about what the carbon intensity of their operations is would not have happened 2 years ago. So like we've made huge steps in that. But upstream oil and gas putting it out there and saying this is what it is one thing. But actually, as soon as you have a demand for something, it changes the whole game. So it sort of has to be the demand side that is dictating what they want so that then upstream can then deliver that. Whether that's physical attributes, low sulfur or, an API of a crude or, whatever it is, or if it's carbon intensity or methane intensity. So that has a really interesting role to play. The other thing I would say is that I don't think any one government alone can solve these problems because again, what we do here in the US and what the Europeans do and what the Australians do and what the Asian countries do, because like Japan and South Korea and stuff are also being pretty aggressive on what they're willing to import in terms of carbon intensity of LNG and things like that as well. There was an effort through the DOE that, again, the DOE is not talking about, but I believe is still going on because, again, they understand the importance of this from an international trading and a US competitiveness point of view. But the DOE had an MMRV working group and they were working with industry, but they were also working with like 20 other governments to say, okay, look, how do we all agree what kind of standards are suitable so that we can actually trade. And that's the big piece that this comes back to. It's like, how do we make sure that this is compliant with like the World Trade Organization and like rules and requirements around that? And again, from the US's perspective, keeping US LNG competitive on a global market is key. Like Chris Wright did one of the keynotes at Gas Tech in Milan recently, because they're in Europe selling US gas, right? And so there is a role, I think, for governments to play.
Yeah.
But it's maybe more of a coordination role, maybe not necessarily a rule setting.